Welcome to Orthodoxy Transforming. This is the 7th episode. In this podcast, we will understand and explore a very important truth. I call it the second greatest spiritual truth, that nothing is as it seems. This is a great spiritual revelation and a step toward true enlightenment. When we accept the first great spiritual truth, that everything has a beginning and an end, then we desire to meditate on what that truth means in our everyday life. When we take time to think about the truth and quiet all the distracting noises in our minds, we discover that everything has a beginning, everything has an end, and then we begin to wonder, are things as they appear? When we totally ingest the truth that nothing is permanent, that everything changes, then we will realize the second greatest truth of spirituality, maybe even automatically, and that truth is nothing is as it seems. Absolutely nothing. Things seem permanent, don't they? We speak of loving someone forever, or living in a place where we are happy forever, or keeping a treasured gift forever. However, in this world we observe, all of those things would be impossible because we do not have access to forever. Even if we existed forever on this planet, the gift we like or the person we love or the place we feel happy will not. Now, why is it that things seem permanent when, upon meditation, we discover that they are not permanent? Things appear permanent because everything decays at a different rate. This is one of the great insights of the philosopher J. Clayton Houston. Since everything decays at a different rate, we imagine that everything is permanent. For instance, a wall of bricks decays slower than a frog in the street that met its demise under a car wheel. Therefore, we conclude that the frog is temporary, but the street the frog is on and the walls that meet the street are permanent. But upon meditation and retraining our brain to remember the obvious, we know that the frog, the walls, and the street are not permanent. Look at the sun. The same sun that shone on the Egyptians, the Akkadians, the Sumerians, the Babylonians, the Greeks, the Romans, it still shines on us, and therefore we tend to think of the sun as eternal, when it really isn't. It decays slower than we do, and therefore fools us into thinking that it is permanent. The same principle holds true for the rest of the universe. It seems to last forever, but it doesn't. If you don't believe it, just go to Google and type in collapsar, and you will discover that even the universe suffers from impermanence at a very great level. Once you see that nothing is as it seems, the world becomes a place of wonder, and you see that everything is passing away and becoming at the same time. When something changes, it quits and begins again in the blink of an eye. We're surrounded by things that are beginning and ending, starting and stopping. Nothing is as it seems. There is no security. People fear this. They imagine if they deny it, then they will have security. But since nothing is as it seems, there is no way to be secure. Even the measures we take to be secure change and reemerge before our eyes from fleeting second to fleeting second. Because nothing is as it seems, the universe and everything in it moves, changes, reemerges, and changes again. In that sense, we live in a living universe, even down to the rocks and lava at the center of the planet. The quiet, certain, orderly world that we have been programmed to believe is the truth is not the truth. Everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. Nothing is as it seems. Nothing is as it seems. This is what you need to be saying to yourself in your deep meditation as you retrain your brain to remember the obvious. Right now you might be thinking, oh, this guy's getting deep. But think about it a minute. This isn't deep. It's so very shallow that it's right in front of your eyes. And it's been in front of your eyes since the day you were born. However, you have sand in your eyes. You have sand in your preconceptions. And look, brush away the sand and look maybe for the first time in your life. Nothing is as it seems. Not only is everything lacking any sort of permanence, and not only is it in a constant flux, decay, and reemergence, but the thing itself is not what it appears to be. We will address the thing in itself in the next podcast. But for now, let's review. Spirituality is not asceticism, nor is it hedonism. The first step to spirituality is to be an observer. The greatest observation is that everything is temporary. Once we realize that, we want to think about it in our meditation. And when we meditate on the fleeting nature of everything, including ourselves, we then conclude that nothing is what it seems to be. I am certain we will want to spend time meditating and reorienting our brains to the truth that the world as we thought it existed simply doesn't. Don't be afraid of this. It's true whether you use it to your advantage or not. It's true whether you step out in the truth of it or not. Closing your eyes will not make these truths go away. However, bringing these truths into your person and accepting them and retraining your brain to remember the obvious will put you on the path of spirituality and openness to the universe and openness to yourself and openness to other people that you never dreamed possible. Now, it does take time to adjust, but this adjustment period is exactly what makes the difference between a spiritual, and by spiritual I mean a knowing and remembering the truth person who no longer wants to remain distracted and live in the denial of the truth. This is what makes the difference between a spiritual person and an unspiritual person. Unspiritual people, unfortunately, do not want to consider the truths in front of their face. They are unspiritual and, if anything, deserve our compassion. And why? Because we are superior? Oh no, they deserve our compassion because only a few short minutes ago, we were all in the same condition, with our eyes filled with sand. Now, we will move on to another revelation I already mentioned. Even the things we see, the changing things, are not what they seem to be. Welcome to the world of spirituality. Welcome. Welcome to the world into which you were born. Welcome to your birthright. It gets a lot better from here. And believe me, you've chosen the right path. In the next podcast, we will see how the world we have taken for granted is nothing like we ever imagined. In fact, it's much, much better.